Canceling Christmas, they said they understood? Mick Thompson is still annoyed about placing third with his wife, Debbie, in the family Zoom quiz at the weekend. But when the initial red mist cleared, the pair had to address another issue that came up during the call, the annual Boxing Day get-together. Mick's family is one of hundreds across the country weighing up whether or not to go ahead with plans over Christmas, amid a growing number of coronavirus infections across the UK. The usual restrictions on social contact are being relaxed between 23 and 27 December, allowing up to 3 households to mix indoors over the 5-day period. But Mick and Debbie still decided to call off the Boxing Day buffet at their home in Chineyham, Hampshire, this week. There's been so much talk about this Christmas relaxation that I think for 1 year only, the sensible thing to do is just not to bother. More than 200 miles away in Lancashire, Nicole Cobb, 30, had to have the same conversation with her family. She, her partner and children usually spend the festive period flitting between her relatives' homes in Aberdeen. This year they had planned a gathering within the relaxed rules, but, given that her job as a youth and family worker involves meeting so many people, she decided it was not worth the risk of unknowingly passing on the virus. Although she'll miss seeing her family, she is also looking forward to a much more relaxed Christmas at home. Instead, the family will do a virtual quiz on Christmas Day and will meet up next year. If you've got the family around the table, it doesn't need to be 25th of December, it can be any date that you pick. James Downs, 31, from Cambridge, says he would rather find alternative things to do on Christmas Day than face the idea of risking my loved ones. He had plans to go to Cardiff to see his family, including his clinically vulnerable dad, but he's called them off. The idea of giving my dad the virus and him being very unwell is something I'm not prepared to risk for the sake of a few months, by which time he might have the vaccine, he explains. He says anyone worried about having difficult conversations with family members should focus on the reasons why you might not want to meet this year, because you care about and love them. Boris Johnson warned a smaller Christmas is going to be a safer Christmas, saying people should think hard before meeting friends and family. And in Scotland people are being asked to meet on just one of the 5 days. A YouGov survey this week suggested 57% of people think the plans to relax coronavirus rules over Christmas should be scrapped. Diva Fanning, 71, a retired midwife in Herefordshire, always looks forward to spending time over Christmas with her daughters, no matter how grown up they are. I didn't want to say I'm not doing it because I didn't want to sound like a killjoy, so I just said perhaps it's best, she says. In any case, she and her husband will still host one daughter who is in her bubble, and can see other family members outside. Everybody was thinking the same anyway, she says. Back in Chineyham, Mick and Debbie will spend Christmas and Boxing Day at home with the dogs. The whole family plans to meet up in the spring, instead. I'm very disappointed, but I think it's the only sensible thing to do, he says. Until then, another virtual quiz on Christmas Day will have to suffice, and he's got some swatting up to do. One of my sister-in-law's sons and his girlfriend put the quiz together and all the oldies sit round and compete. It's quite good fun, he says. COVID Christmas rules, Boris Johnson calls for shorter, smaller celebrations. Melbourne Towers lockdown breached human rights. Not enough evidence vitamin D prevents COVID. Korean Lantern Festival gets UNESCO honors. BBC Culture, inside the homes of legendary artists. Canceling Christmas, they said they understood '4. COVID, Melbourne Towers lockdown breached human rights '6. Love jihad, what a reported miscarriage says about India's anti-conversion law 9.